G'day legends, I hope you're all fantastic. On today's video, I want to show you how I'm using my AxeFX3 together with the new Soldano Astro 20. We're going to run through a preset. I'll show you how I'm routing everything and also how I am using the Midi capabilities of the AxeFX3 to switch the Astro 20. So I've got my DGT plugged into input 1 of the AxeFX3. I've mirrored that on the grid by placing an input 1 block. I have routed it across this entire row to output 3. Output 3 is coming from my AxeFX3 with the output 3 knob all the way up into the input of the Astro. I'm then taking the XLR output from the reactive load on the Astro 20. This has the IR processing on, and that's going to input 2 of my AxeFX3. Now, in the setup tab over here, I have set input 2 to only read the left input. That's where I have plugged the output of the Astro 20 reactive load. So that's all good to go. I've got a parametric EQ on at the moment. I've got a little bit of reverb, and that is going to output 1, which is going straight to my audio interface. So I'm able to use this tube head with a reactive load and IRs. I've got a row of pre-effects and a row of post-effects up here. Let's just hear the green mode on the Astro 20 with a little bit of EQ and reverb. Then I'm going to add a compressor to it and maybe some chorus. So let's check it out. Maybe chorus. Who am I joking? Of course I'm going to put some chorus on there. I also really like using drive blocks in front of the amp here. So staying on that green channel, both knobs are just at noon for that pretty neutral clean sound. And I can throw on different drives. Each block in here has 4 different channels, so I can have 4 different drive choices if I wanted to. I'll show you some of them, starting with this compulsion distortion for an OCD style thing. So I've got a bunch of fun stuff happening there on the clean mode. Now, you don't buy a Soldano for the clean mode most of the time. You want it for that glorious crunch. And the Astro actually has 3 different shades of crunch in there. You've got a blue mode, a purple mode, and a red mode. They call them galaxies, and they're assignable to either channel 2 or channel 3. Furthermore, the Astro actually responds to Midi program changes. You can save 128 different presets on there that will remember the channel and the galaxy setting on there, as well as various IR choices on there. So what I've done is I've placed a Midi block. This doesn't need to be on the grid at all. And I've set up different scene changes so that when I change scene, this Midi block will send a Midi program change to the Astro, and it will change to that preset that I've saved. So for example, if I change from scene 4 here, which has a Midi program change value of 3, and I change to scene 1 has a Midi program change value of 0, which is going to bring up the very first preset on the Astro. As you can see there, I've done similar things with scene 2 and scene 3, selecting the blue or the red galaxy on there. The Astro has 3 channels. Channel 1 is always the green mode, but Channel 2 and channel 3 can have different gain and volume values on there, and you can also cycle through the galaxies on them. So essentially on this, you could have 7 different sounds just coming from the amp, and then you can go through here and add effects to them. So one thing that I quite like with the blue mode, which is a lower gain kind of JCM style thing on here, is to hit it either with a tube screamer or with a filter block set up for a bit of a mid kick. I've got the ability to place effects that I want before the amp, like a phaser, while simultaneously having effects that I want to be stereo after the amp and cab, like this dual delay in here. One of my favorite combos on here is taking the red channel, boosting it. You can see I've got a little bit of this multi-band compressor afterwards, just kind of taming some of the excess low end on there. And of course, layering it with like a multi-tap delay and some pitch detune for a big greasy 80s thing. My favorite mode on the amp is the purple mode. It's kind of got the best of all worlds when it comes to that Soldano style crunch. I particularly like putting this tilt EQ in front of it, kind of set up to do a similar thing to a Fortin grind or a TC integrated preamp, and then adding a little bit of the multi-band compressor afterwards to tame the low end. So we'll hear it wide open, then with the filter, then with the multi-band. Now, of course, I can switch between all of these combinations on here, so I'll let you hear my 4 favorite scenes on here at the moment, using the purple mode with basically nothing on it, then going over to the red mode with a bit of a boost and some time-based effects for some grease, then the blue mode pushed with a filter block, and finally the green mode with some compression and some chorus. Let's hear it. That is it for today. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments section below. If you want to watch my video with the Astro 20 in depth, I will link it right at the end of this video clip. And of course, you can support my channel directly by signing up to my Patreon and accessing some exclusive content, or buying some of the music that I make with my band Ragdoll. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.